y'all ready for a quilt block? Because I'm ready for a quilt block. In today's video, we're going back to our series of making beginner-friendly quilt blocks. Today we are doing what's called the water wheel quilt block. It actually combines some techniques that we've done in previous videos. We've got some 4 patches, we've got some half square triangles, and all that good stuff. I will show you exactly how to make this block. Super duper easy, very beginner friendly, and you can use up some of those scraps in the scrap bin. So grab your sewing gear and let's get to it. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to be doing what's called the water wheel quilt block. These are all of the pieces that you're going to need, and this is what it's going to look like. Let's go ahead and zoom in so that you can see what's going on there. But basically what it's got is we've got 4 half square triangles. We also have 4 patch blocks with a center square in the middle. I've got my measurements here, and the one that I'm going to be following is for a 12-inch finished block. So what I'm going to have is I'm going to be making 4 half square triangles out of these 2 fabrics. I've got 2 pieces of each of the fabrics here. And on the pattern, it has these cut out at 4 7/8 if you were just going to be putting the 2 halves, the 2 like triangles together. But I'm going to be making 2 at a time half square triangles with these. I'll show you exactly how we do that. But these pieces now are actually cut with my 5.5-inch ruler because it's one of my favorites. But I actually used this and just cut it out. It's going to be oversized, and then I'll trim it down. I just like to do it that way to make sure that I have enough fabric and everything is going to be where it needs to be. So that's for the half square triangles. Now this one is going to be my center square. This is going to be the center focal point of the block, and this square is going to be 4.5 by 4.5 inches. Now I also have 8 of these white blocks here, or I have 8 of these white squares here, and I'm going to be using those to make my 4 blocks. So I've got 8 white squares, and these are measuring 2.5 by 2.5. And then for my other parts, for my 4 squares, I've got 4 of these florals, and I've got 4 of these florals. So I'm going to have all of these blocks are going to come together, and they're going to make something that hopefully looks good and decent. So we're going to start with the bigger pieces, and then we'll work on the smaller pieces. So for now, I'm going to take my center square and I'm going to put it to the side, since I'm not going to be editing or adding anything to it until everything else is done. It's going to go to the side. My small ones, I'm also going to put those to the side as well. I'm going to take 4 squares for the half square triangles, and I'm going to work on those first. Now, if you've been around my channel for any amount of time, you know exactly how to do a half square triangle. But if you are new and you want to learn how, this is how I do mine. Make sure not to stab myself in the microphone. This is how I do my half square triangles. So this is how I do my half square triangles, and in this method we're going to be doing 2 at a time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of my green squares, and this is going to be pretty side facing towards you, just like this. And I'm going to take one of my purple squares, and this fabric, I guess this is like a broadcloth. You can't really tell what the front and the back is. It kind of has a little bit of a texture difference, but if yours does have a front and a back, you're going to put the pretty sides together. So I've got right sides together just like this. Just going to line that up just like that. And now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drawing a line right on the diagonal. We are going to be sewing a 1/4 inch on each side of that diagonal. And I'm going to be using my heat erasable pen to make my line. Now this is not necessary because we're going to be cutting down this line, but I just like to use it anyway. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other set. So now I've got this, and I've got my diagonal line. I'm going to put a pin in them because I just want to keep them a little bit from shifting. I'm not going to go crazy. Just one right in the middle, right there. And now to make my 2 half square triangles on this and 2 over here, I'm going to be taking it to my sewing machine. I'm going to do a straight stitch, and I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch away on both sides of the diagonal line. And if you are not confident in being able to keep a straight line, you can mark that with your ruler. If you do it in this method here, you're going to be sewing right on those 2 outside lines. So I'm going to put my pin back in. And now we'll take it to the machine. All right, so now I'm at my machine. I'm going to get my 2 pieces. And I've got this one first. This is the one that I did the 1/4 inch, where I marked where the 1/4 inch is. And I'm going to sew straight stitches on both sides. I'm going to turn it around. See how I flipped it there? Keeping my threads attached, flipping it around, and we'll sew down the other side. All right, and here's my other one. I'm going to sew 1/4 inch. I didn't mark this one, but I know on my machine that a 1/4 inch is going to be the same as following the edge of my pressure foot here. And that is what you should have. Looks good. All right, so now we have our lines stitched right next to our middle line there. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get our ruler and we're going to cut on that center line, and that's going to give us our 4 half square triangles. Get our ruler back, line it up. I'm going to be using my rotary cutter because it is one of the essential tools I feel like every sewist should have. Again, if you don't have one, it's not a huge deal. You can always use scissors. Scissors are always going to be there. But a rotary cutter is just, I don't know, I just feel like it's essential, especially if you're quilting. So we're going to cut right on that center line. And now this is what you'll have. So now we have 1, 2 half square triangles. Do the same on this one. There we go. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 half square triangles. Perfecto, easy peasy. What we're gonna do is we are going to go ahead and press these board here. if we're going to be combining it with our middle square, that's 4.5. And when we combine everything else, it's going to end up being 4.5. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our half square triangles are going to match our center square. Because when we assemble the block at the end, everything is going to have to be assembled to this. Hopefully that makes sense. You want your half square triangles to match what your middle square. I'm going to trim them to 4.5. So now these are ready to go. And here is our center square. Now, all of this is going to be ready to assemble in our final assembly. But for now, we're going to put it to the side. Like I said before, I've got 8 of the white ones, 4 of these floral ones, and 4 of these. So what we're going to have is we're going to have 4 patches that are going to be in the corners. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of lay this out just so that I can make sure that I know exactly the layout that I want to have. And it's one of the things I've gotten into the habit of kind of checking that multiple times. I've done it before where things are backwards or things are the wrong size, and I'm trying to get better about checking those things as I go. Center square. All right, we've got our center square. And I believe I'm going to do it like this, or do I want to do it like this? I think I like that solid breaking up that pattern. Now, if you've seen my other videos, this layout right here looks very similar to the friendship star. That is a video that I did a few months ago, maybe a few weeks ago. I don't know. It's been a while, but I will link it up above somewhere if you want to check out that quilt block. But this is very, very similar to the friendship star. But we're just making it a little fancy. Just a little fancy. So for my 4 squares, what we're gonna do is we are gonna have it look like this. We're gonna have our white here and our white here, white here. And then I've got this darker purple that's going to go here. So it's going to be basically like a variation of the original quilt block, because the other one has these that are a continuation of this pattern. But I just wanted to switch it up because that's what I like to do. Do things just a little bit different. Because I'm different. I'm a little different. But yeah, this is going to be the layout for the final block. I am cool with this. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and construct our 4 blocks. So I'm just going to go one at a time, and I'm going to sew everything together as you see it here. So let's just start in this corner. I'm going to take this one and this one, sew these together. I'm going to chain piece them, so this one and this one, and then we will sew them together, get them pressed, and everything should be nice and hunky-dory. I'm going to be using my clips. This is another item I feel like that is essential for quilting, but if you don't have clips, pins are also a thing that are good as well. So when we construct these, we're going to be putting these pretty sides together, right sides together. Go to our sewing machine, 1/4 inch seam allowance, and we're going to be connecting all the pieces. So let's do it. Way. Now to make our 4 block, we're going to put these 2 together, just like this. Hopefully you can see that. All right, I've got all of my 4 squares, 4 patches that are complete. So now let's get these bad boys pressed. All right, I'm just going to give that a little finger press. Yeah, that looks much better. I think that's going to combine much better than before. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, the way that I like to assemble my blocks is I like to start in the top left corner, and I like to combine these 2 together. These two, chain. I love chain piecing. It just makes things nice and easy. We're going to chain piece these together, and then we'll add the 3rd one. Then we will flip our rows, sew those together, press everything one more time, and then we will have a nice completed block. So let's go. I'm going to take this one and this one the way that I have it laid out, and I'm going to go like this, line everything up. I'm going to clip it, take it to the machine, 1/4 inch seam. And then we continue on. So now we're going to take these 2, 1/4 inch seam. This is where we're at. We've got our rows together, and we are almost in the final stretch. See, this wasn't so bad, it's not so hard. So now I've got this connected here. I'm going to fold it over. I'm going to nest my seams and hopefully get some nice intersections. And then when we get done, we'll have something like this. We'll do this. And then we'll be able to press and we will be done. So this is our finished water well quilt block. I think that's pretty freaking cute. You can see this fabric is continuous like that. Then the purple goes along with it, plays nicely with the purple and the green. This block, oh yeah, that's nice. This block measures 12 by 12 inches. What do you think about this quilt block? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I do very much appreciate y'all watching, and I will see you next time. Thank y'all.